Let's make it happen, cats. It's about that bottom line, baby.
65 is life. Oh, 07. All right. 07 Shimpasta. What is going on, man? It's going. Preparing for another week and just taking it all in and just mulling over what's about to change with Star Citizen. I think we're in for a few surprises and improvements overall. Yeah, and surprising too, fun and surprising because they have so many avenues in which to to deliver upon. So it's almost it's anybody's guess as to what's coming next. Um, or CitizenCon Direct. I would go CitizenCon Direct, or let's say the Halloween event, right? What is it? The Day of the Vera? Is that what it's called? Day of the Vera. It would be cool to see. We're kind of saying, hey, zombie outbreak, but it's like a scientific virus that just makes NPCs go crazy, and regardless of the armor or no armor, this viral whatever it is, or experiment or drug, almost seems like they're bulletproof. Like they'll get shot and they get back up, kind of deal. And you got to get headshots, man, to really take them down. So that will present itself as something interesting. And if they get close, they bite you, and if they do, you're out. You're tagged out. You're out of the facility. And I guess the goal would be, you administer you would get to where the what is it? Ground zero was for the virus, to get samples to take back to see what to create the potential antidote. That would be fun in itself. But I know they don't have a lot of bandwidth to make those things happen, but something to think about if they can't get it for this year. Definitely next year to dial that thing up and really do some creepy stuff. Especially with, the depths are coming for Area 18. Kind of do some variant on that. Some variation on it. I mean, just to, Day of the Vera, make it a interactive event. Scale it up as a full-scale mission, I'm up for that. Oh, shoot. Shit. Damn it. Ooh-wee. That was not pretty. That was not pretty. That's one quick way to get back to Stanton. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, the physicalization, a dent in it, a scratch in it, Definitely, that's what we need. More to come with that, with ships in general. The next step is bringing in the medgel capabilities, medbed capabilities of the tiers of ships. Oh, one thing, I don't know, are you a Galaxy owner? I wanted to say, if you were, I did look up the Galaxy and their medical module, which, I melted the Apollo for the Galaxy. But man, you talking about hit lotto. The first one for me was the Galaxy builds bases or homesteads, a base building for a Galaxy. But then I went back, I looked at the Galaxy, looked it up on Star Citizen Wiki, and realized it also will hold a tier 1 medical beds. Oh man! I hit the freaking lotto twice, not once, but twice. I don't care if I have to buy a cargo grid. I don't care, man. Best decision ever, right? Holy smokes, man. Best decision ever. Dude is ready for Microtech, isn't he? Wait till that Yeti get him. The Yeti get him. Wait till the Yeti get him. It's versatile. We were speaking, the irony of it is the Drake Caterpillar is the epitome of modularity. It's sheer design screams modularity, and yet here we are still waiting for the updates for the Caterpillar. But here's the thing, not to Debbie Down it, but by them with the Retaliator and such, this gives them a good way to kind of segue over the validated tech itself, bring it over to the Drake Caterpillar, and come up with some really cool ideas. Maybe the med beds, maybe higher capacity of cargo. That's one. Definitely med beds, cargo, refinery. Right? You have that. You have those same disciplines within the Drake Caterpillar. Maybe some other things. Maybe weapons storage. You have the modules that fit in there, and maybe there's an armor storage module. The different types of armor and clothes that you want to wear, outfits for missions. I think that's something to be said about that. Maybe a lot of ideas. Maybe a pharmaceutical module where you can collect samples of flora, fauna, DNA samples, synthesize it, and you create your own meds. And it spits kind of like salvage. You create the cocktail, and then it spits out its own med pens right on site. So those are some ideas for when they do have the time to really update the Caterpillar. I think that in itself would be interesting. Maybe create small bases from the Caterpillar. Have drones in one of those modular compartments. So yeah, I can see that with the Caterpillar. Maybe a module where you have Gatling guns on 2 on each side, or 1 on each side, for like a dropship sort of deal. So a lot of open opportunities for the Caterpillar to be really a versatile ship that will generate again more sales for a ship that's already in the game and existing, by bringing in that extra versatility and task capabilities. That would be cool. Also, maybe a module that is just a enhanced shield generator. I don't know, but then that would make it OP though. It's like no. We need to be able to pirate that ship. But if it's cargo based, it's cargo enhanced. Well, they're talking about the different variations of cargo. They have to be, you have the sensitive cargo. It can't be, moving around too much. Volative cargo that's sensitive to heat. You can have a cryo room for cold storage. Like maybe body organs once we get into medical, right? So you have quite a number of different things you can do to enhance and bring in modules for the Drake Caterpillar to make it more enhanced.
Stanton's capital of commerce. Whatever your transaction, we wish you a beneficial and prosperous stay.
But yeah, I just thinking of the next 2 years in general, which is not far off. We could see definitely a marked improvement in the game overall,
All security and customs personnel.
which I'm ready to see. Benoit strategy going forward. I'm really excited about how that approach will change the landscape of how we play the game and what we do in it.
Hello, and welcome to Riker Memorial Spaceport.
Think we'll see or hear us from CR?
Metropolitan
I think so. It's CitizenCon, man. We gotta hear from CR. He's not too busy for a CitizenCon. That's his wheelhouse. That is definitely his wheelhouse. Yeah, it'll be good to see CR and hear from him and
Offer amenities such as resort sharing,
hear about more
rental partners.
things they want to do.
Learn how you can invest in making our home your new home.
Star Citizen is missing a home for players. Low key though, I really hope they put base building into tech preview for Christmas. Well, just the mechanic, right? To see how it works. Maybe not the large, medium, but definitely the small could be possible. Could be possible. I wouldn't dismiss that. And if it's tech preview and it doesn't work well, it's nothing that should, or it won't interfere with the live bill. I think Benoit kind of alluded to tech preview becoming a more so of a hub of making it an environment for more, a push for more features and for us to test. But I think on the Benoit side of the development, it's more about the back end and server stability and resilience, right? And I think the features or the disciplines that the devs have specifically to their departments, it's an enticement, right? It's to say, okay, try this feature, get in the game. I want to see high concurrency, high pop servers, and then I'll do my work. But in regards to features and things or such, I'm also looking at that as well, because now there's checks and balances towards what's being created by the developers, and they have tools now that will better track, good data, the concept or the adage of good data in, good data out. Out is on our end. So crap in, crap out. But no, I think that is the old process. And to the point of, it's not an instantaneous process, because as he stated, this is a big operation and it takes time. It doesn't turn on a dime. So you'll see some residual legacy process being filtered through, but it's not grandfathered. It's immediately being changed. It's being vetted, it's being flagged, and internally it's more of a it's by department managing their own thing. And I think this now, it really gives the project management tools that will help not only leadership to see that things are working right, but it helps. And in what do you say? It supports the project managers even more, right? It validates why they're there, and then they can actually bring it to the attention of devs who need to fix certain code after it's been released. And so it's more of a, hey, check this, check that. This is your baby. So doll it up, man. Make it look cute. And before it hits the live or the main branch. But even still, if it gets through, it's still flagged as such, and it becomes a priority, which won't allow them to move on until it's fixed. But I think also to back up, as a backup, just in case, well, not so much of a backup, things can still filter through, and this is why he is ramping up on his end. Benoit's in with the Montreal team. They're putting together his 150 plus team to actually, like as he stated, refine Star Citizen. They're in the business of refining it when things fall through the cracks, because it's so much. It's such a large volume of coding and features. And even though it could work well in-house, when it merges or interacts with other departments' coding, it can create havoc. So that's what the refinement is all about, is just making sure everything is cohesive and it's cohesive and it works well. It plays nicely with each other in the same environment, which makes sense. But that structure, man, it can't. I looked at the YouTube of it, and I heard comments of people who basically has been developing for decades, and they were really highlighting the things that I was noticing too, the restructuring. And he said, if any good company or any healthy company, they do that. They do those things. They have a structure. This individual said it was good to see that the structure is now in place. And so I think I felt good about that, because I was on the same page with people who's been in the business for decades, and it validates my insight on what I heard. And it was encouraging to know that it's moving in the right direction. And it has to. These things have to happen because, based on how the project was started, what it was predicated on was showing proof that there is a game, because community supports it, not the publishers or stockholders. So, in order to keep funds flowing in, they had to, quickly. Not methodically, but quickly show that there is a proof of making a game. So the back end suffered for that, because you had to push it in, slam dunk it in, and just show that, hey, look, there's a game here we're making. But now, years later, it's been a battle of just getting features in to please everyone, make them happy. Then you have to please them and make them happy because of what was placed in the game that has a resulting factor of not playing well or not working well with other features in game, bugs. So that restructuring, man, is huge. Love my cutter, man. Look at that. That's what it needs to look like. Some sort of a little bit of realism to it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes, sir. The cutter is one of those ships, man. I hope that other ship I was trying to identify, we were first thinking it was the command module for the Ironclad and Caterpillar, which, nope, I don't think that's it, man. It's not it. I'm really geeked out for IAE because we'll probably see some things like, I didn't think they were working on this. What? Now, the thing is, here's my question. Do you think those 4 to 5 ships or new ships, I'm thinking it's more of 4, the new concept ships, do you think they're oh shit, again. What is wrong with me today? What is wrong with me today? I think it's the eye tracker, man. What? I I need a Snickers bar or something? Ship, right? Yeah, because I'm flying it. No multi crew this way. Holy smokes, what is going on with me, man? Shall we do this again? Oh God, no. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. I installed the eye tracker. I wanted to get back to it, and I guess I'm in a daze with it. Holy smokes, man. Toby eye tracker. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tweak some things with it. That means I needed to go to my inventory anyway, and I failed to do that. So I guess that's probably why I'm back here, man. Needed to get some supplies. It's yeah, I think feature wise, they did say we're getting 4 patches. We have 4 left. The density, the density of them, we can only wonder, right? How impactful, we can only wonder what those features will be come added in. And I think there was a statement where Benoit mentioned, he alluded to Vulcan at the end of the year. Now, I think some of us will look at that and say, okay, immediately they place in their minds time frame, end of the year time frame. Oh man, end of the year time frame. Because it's not telling sign of what that means. I guess some of us naturally will connect to the time frame at the end of the year. Looking at it from, there's different perspectives on how to look at it. I think one way that I looked at it was not so much of, oh man, that's all the way to the end of the year. That's kind of late at the last minute. Oh wow, you're going to drop this at the end of the year. You're all going to go on vacation, and it's probably going to be screwed up. Yada yada yada. That could be one aspect of it. Another aspect of it could be Vulcan is, they're planning to do a lot with Vulcan, open up Vulcan to support a lot of different things within the game. First one would be what we kind of surmised or guessed was balancing the CPU GPU usages, and how there was an uneven balance of it's bound to one or the other in instances. So this gives them insight as to how well things are optimized, or how badly they are not. But also going forward, they're able to utilize the Vulcan technology to ensure that the cores that we have, they're being utilized efficiently. They work well. They play nice with each other. And then also in turn, it helps them with the optimization process for their software. 07 Finra. Vulcan will open up a lot of performance and also features. What is that? The RTX technology, like the shadow features. You can utilize that, but actually, there's another aspect of it too. When you start to add the features to ensure that it opens up and it's fully accessible and it works well. Let's say you have a potato PC. No one's going to sit here and say, "Oh man, my computer is 7 years old and this is what I'm running." They'll just say Star Citizen plays terrible. You'll hear that. Oh, this game is not optimized. It's unoptimized, right? And you hear a lot. You hear some of that. I'm not gonna say a lot of that. I don't know the frequency, but you hear some of that, and that could be a contributing factor. Other contributing factors could be their network provider is underutilized or not set up correctly, or they're just bare boning the bandwidth or the internet access. So yeah, Vulkan can help with bottom line requirements, and it would give some players a boost, or allow some players who were not able to play it maybe a slim chance of playing it by utilizing incremental updates to their PC, like maybe a graphics card or a CPU, as opposed to a full-on brand new system build, right? Which can be expensive. It's still expensive. I think that helps. That's another advantage of what Vulkan could potentially provide. And that's by the DLSS scaling, right? You can upscale it to make it, play better. I think that's very important. AI software, it's getting better. They're shifting the processes for things to the graphic card via Vulkan, incorporating. Yeah, it's opening up to a lot of things. And I kind of looked at the latest missions, the Onyx missions, and seeing how that played out, and where, man, can you imagine if the AI was really utilizing better optimizations and really leveraging the AI potential of NPCs in game? Man, it's like it would really it would force us as players of FPS, as well as flight models, or not the flight model, but FPS and dogfighting, PvP dogfighting, PvE. No, not PvP, but PvE dogfighting. That dynamically and potential changes a lot of things, whether they're pirates. Okay, speaking of flight, dogfighting, PvE, whether they're pilots of backing piracy or backing the UEE, such as bounty hunting or just providing security. Can you imagine AI-driven NPCs that would then be able to disable your ship, take your cargo? You have a blending of the disciplines of PvE, flight, combat, as well as FPS skills being utilized seamlessly between NPCs. And you're sitting there and wondering, wait a minute, is that a real person? Or, oh, wait a minute, that's AI or NPCs doing this now? And I think that's what they want. They want to, and I think that's the beauty of seeing the development. I think there's a lot of attitudes you could have towards seeing the development. Yeah, there's ups and downs in it, but there's some positivity in how they develop and improve upon. And we're on the cusp of technology just really taking that next leap forward. I mean, immensely. And they want to be at the forefront of it. CIG wants to be at the forefront of it due to the fact that they are currently developing. It's like some people see it as one of the handicaps, but I think CIG, Chris Roberts and all, they're looking at it as an advantage because they're able to um, encompass those discipline, those new technologies into what's being and how it's being created. I saw a comment too. I brought up Benoit and the comments from people who watched the video and saying, "What a shame that they're not utilizing the established architectural standards for MMOs. How they're almost ignoring that. What a shame, right? Valid, could be valid, but that's a respected opinion, right? And so I look at it this way too. What as they're not going with the conventional MMO standards of creating just that other game down the street, similar neighbors. They have the opportunity to incorporate new technologies and leverage that into their engine, which is a constant development forward, to basically create something that is a new horizon for games in general, based upon technological standards that are emerging, right? Leveraging AI and such and things of that nature. So it bodes well to say it's the R&D side, but it's also watching that process develop and seeing it and being introduced to us right in front of our faces. But yet, while at the same time making the game evolve into something that we've never seen before, even though there's standards that's still current that we should adhere to because that sustains a foundation, but they are definitely open to changing and emerging and evolving and integrating newer technologies. That's the beauty of I think that's the one thing I've learned about CIG on the positive side of them developing and pushing forward these things. And overall, outside of the bugs and let's say all that was just something in the rearview mirror, you're looking at great potential here. And the reason why we're all still here, whether we, at times where we say, man, this patch is good, or man, that 318, man, I can't get over it, or they need to do better. We're still here watching this development evolve in front of us for a reason. People are like, hey man, I get it. I complain sometimes, it's valid, but am I going anywhere? No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm seeing something happen here. Seeing something really interesting here that's happening. And it's different. And it's different in the means of what is an MMO. And that, for me, I don't have a lot of experience with MMOs, and neither does Chris. Well, building them, creating them. He's played them, right? A lot of us have an experience on both aspects, how to create them and how they're to be played. But he wants to go in it with his concept of what he has done in the past, what he believes in regards of a sci-fi environmental universe. He wants to leverage the MMO numbers, but he wants to integrate it into this universe that he and CIG is creating. I think that is the huge difference in aspects of MMO standardized processes and Chris's vision. That's where the rubber meets the road, where the fork in the road start to emerge, and you're saying he's forking away from those conventional and standardized ways of making an MMO. But then he still has to play by certain rules, right? Hence why we have a Benoit who can kind of be the mad scientist, man. But he knows the rules of the baseball game. That's an analogy. But he wants to throw a little cricket in there too, right? With a splash of football. but he knows the game rules. Blackwater Go 07. What is going on? So yeah, it was a lot of talk, a lot of talk. I pushed forward a little more with the video today. Early this morning, had some coffee, mulled over it, and just it's more process related and existing tech and the plans going forward. But I think also he had to hold his tongue on a lot of things because I think you'll see that at CitizenCon. That's going to come out in CitizenCon. And I think that's when it's more of a part 2 of what he's been really working on, of where the devs are going, right, with their technology. But rest assured, we're more like, where's dynamic server meshing? And I guess the unfortunate thing about it was a mixed review on the update with dynamic server meshing, and I share that. But I say mixed because you look at dynamic server meshing and you say, okay, where are we with the entirety of it, or the established process? And so you didn't get that fully, and I think that was the disappointing part. We were like, where's dynamic server meshing, the full entity itself? And I think the answer was unexpected, because he said, well, it is right now, we're working on it, right? So it's like, oh, we're working on it. What, that means we gotta wait. He's working on it. So all right, then he alluded to say, but we're utilizing systems that will give us the data for how we will deliver upon dynamic server meshing, right? So we're like, oh man, right? Okay. The other part was, well, that in itself is basically saying we're using this that has high concurrency. We need to do this because we're seeing that bit of data. And so all that combined results in how we go forward with dynamic server meshing. The other part of it was, well, you're seeing dynamic server meshing. The elevator debacle, I say debacle, but the elevator pain in the butt that's been just terrorizing us for quite some time. Bits of the new process is dynamic server meshing, which will continue to report so that it can fulfill what the full process and full implementation of what dynamic server meshing will become. So it was kind of like, well, okay, yeah, but all right. It's like, okay, you got me, man. All right, I gotta wait and see. In other words, I gotta wait and see how this thing plays out. But it's one of those things of where is dynamic server meshing? And he's like, look around. It's bits and pieces already, but it's not here yet. And so, the concern is how far reaching, or how far do they have to collect, or how much data do they have to collect in order to implement it further, right? To implement it further. Okay, that's at area 18, 13 minutes. Let me crack it down to 4. Uh, 07 Rocket Rizzy, 07 Fembra, he's saying the interview with Benoit is mostly just a rehashing and explanation of stuff they've talked about before. No, some of it. There were a few things about long-term persistence that were interesting to know, but I don't know that they needed to spend 3 hours on that live. Well, in order to well, to fully, that's Benoit. He's detailed oriented. In some instances, film you have to look at it from that person's perspective. This is why he is the chief technical officer. He's a detail oriented person, and he's garnered Chris's respect. I think some of our respect as well, because of how he was able to turn around a lot of things and actually get things implemented and moving in the right direction. First foremost, they almost been, connected since 2012. They ran into each other through the movie industry. Benoit was the go-to to do whatever it is he does on a level of, I don't know how to do this type of thing in Hollywood. Special effects, CGI, I mean, you name it, all these different aspects of data that's garnered by the movie industry and then some. And so Chris knew him from that, but then that relationship sustained itself. So I probably mine, get some quick money. So in regards to Chris and Benoit, he gained his respect, and then which we didn't know behind the scenes, Turbulent, he was a part of Turbulent, and then Turbulent connected with CIG, and they really got a lot of things done. And so began his relationship and his tie-in with CIG. And so him turning around things and the problems that started to bubble up with what was going on with everything software related and server related. And fast forward, he's shown that his mindset can turn things around. So I think he's earned that space to really command and hold the room on what his thoughts are, because this is such a volume of change or a volume of processes that's involved, and they're intricate, and hence we have the spaghetti bowl of code. I think he effectively in that conversation explained what that was, but then there's other aspects of the elevators, the vetting and the quality control of things, the pre-existing things, and then when you kind of sum it up, it's hard to say, well, I need you to just wrap it up and just put it in a few minutes and blah blah blah. I think it's a good thing that he can delve in and deliver upon high-level details or the nitty-gritty, details of things, and then switch gears. But I think it's not just for one person to hear. I think he gives you okay, this is for you to hear because you're listening or you're looking for this. This is for you who's worried about this. This is for that person who wants to hear and see what the situation is with that. And so when you try to answer a lot of these situational issues of, what's going on with this, with the back end, what's going on with the servers, it culminates into a lot of time, especially having to recall that and stay on task with the details. It is what it is. So I think it was a necessary thing because it encompassed the entirety of the process. It also answered a lot of questions for a lot of people. But then some, like I said, for some, I say not a lot of people, but some people. Some people will say that's too, you say it's too much. Some people say it's too little. Or some people says, I want to just, talk about how does it make the game play? Or, everyone wants different answers, and you can't unfortunately, he won't be able to answer everybody's questions. But to know that he has a plan, and that some of it is a substantial, where it makes sense. It makes sense enough, and then now all we have to do is give it the time and space to actually mature and then grow into that plan. But we've seen over the years how he's turned around a lot of things, and like I said, he's garnered and earned the respect of. He actually got the 4.0 working. He actually got the freaking static server meshing going, and even then, that was a tall task for him to just get it in his hands, carve it out, release it, and then put out the dumpster fire that it was. So I thought he did pretty good. And he didn't, he didn't blink. He didn't stutter. He was very focused in where the direction was. It wasn't based on this is what we want to do 5 years down the line. It wasn't, well, I have this concept. It's like this is the trenches. This is how it's going to turn around. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But that's just my insight on it, or my view of it. But I think for everyone, the telltale sign will be how will it play out once they start to introduce what what he has as a process or concept of actually producing and delivering upon, changing things around and allowing the project to move forward. I think that's going to be pretty cool. But it's also enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, and seeing how things evolve when we can look back at 4.3 all the way to 2 point something and see like, wow, there's some progress, but they have a ways to go. And I think he's working around the major software dump that was just get it in, just get to the next patch aspect of the process. Now it's more of let's refine it as we produce it, as we introduce it to the live branch and get it in our hands. Let's get it right. Let's get this process going the right way. And again, time is going to tell, because we will not forget it. Some of us will not forget it and say, hey man, look, he talked about this, he said this. So we just have to hold and have that patience and understand that, like you said, it doesn't stop or turn on a dime. It's going to work itself out in time. But it was encouraging to hear. And everyone's not going to be convinced. He's got to prove himself, right? He said, okay, you're a CTO. We're going to see how that works. And we've been waiting for this for quite a while. So okay, let's see here. I'm going to deliver this.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected.
I want to see this fixed. This right here, this Archimedes. But what you're seeing is they would really have to go in and change the back end of this ship, and just basically it could be a small grid or a hangar back here, which would have a little bit of room. But I don't know, that connecting module, man. I question it because as you play it, you play with the ship, it eventually disappears. So it's got to be something that's going to persist. It's going to be interesting how they figure that out, but it's not a priority. But yeah, again, I was happy to find out, looked up the Galaxy, and the Galaxy has, I think, 6 beds as well. Very similar to the Apollo. But it makes sense because it's RSI branded. But it has 6 beds, and you can select the tier 1. I'm all smiling, man. I was like, best melt ever. I think I hit the lotto twice, man. One with the base building module, and then this. The refinery was known. That's why I went with the. Galaxy, because it had refinery, and then 07 to Todd Pappy, CitizenCon, he revealed that the Galaxy will build bases. So I was like, yes. And then go back later, with the Apollo and all the, I wouldn't say controversy, but the conversation about how the bed tiers work, what you get if you go max with the number 1 tier 1. Then under that is tier 2, and for the least amount of injuries, tier 3. And I looked at the Galaxy and I said, oh my gosh, 6 beds, and you can choose tiers as well. Tier 1 all day long, man. That is cool. That is cool. Love that about the ship. But I don't know, are we going to see a preview of ships for next year? What's coming down the pipeline? After IAE? I would think so, because it's CitizenCon. I definitely know, or think that it wouldn't make any sense and you don't hear anything about ships, because that's its main source of revenue for the game. Let's get this. Okay. So I can only imagine what we're gonna get in the next 4 patches. There's 4 patches now. How robust they will be, don't know. But I would probably say the quantum travel could be on the list, possibly. The new quantum travel. That's one feature I think that's possible. The FPS scanning, that's possible. New scanning for ships, that's possible. And one of those 4 patches before the end of year, or at the end of year, the possible 4 patches. Let me cheat and look at the roadmap or the progress map. Gives me a little clue as to what makes sense or what's close to being released. Like you said, the stuff. What would that be, Fenrir? Specifically, updated star map. That's possible. That's possible. The interaction system. I'm not sure about that. What is that? Let me look. But I'm thinking, what about the hand walking mechanic, the zero gravity hand walking, taking away the booster. It's a utilizing more of the what is it, the utility tool that will, it's like a grapple that pulls you. More of that. Evade push pull. Yeah, that's a possibility now, because that's been that is a validated piece of Squadron 42. That's in Squadron 42. That's a possibility. I definitely see that as doable and something they talked about a couple of years back. I think some of the features, I think there's some features, if it connects or if it's related to something that they have to have before it, I doubt we'll see it until that main or that foundational piece is in. And I think now with Benoit at the helm of how things are going to be delivered, I think he's going to be very methodic in what is to be delivered, what's deliverable, because he doesn't, again, he's not going to fall into that, hey, this is buggy as hell, or he's going to make sure that whatever's released, it's not causing calamity to the live build. Hence, he may circumvent that by introducing the preview tech and adding more wanted, not needed, but more wanted features into the game through via the preview tech channel. And then once it's vetted by usage on the server side, then they can start to incorporate it into PTU and you know, and they go through the phases of wave ones to PTU for all. I think you're going to see more of a methodical process, things that will not interrupt. That is loud. That will not interrupt what we have with live as they continue to refine and make it a cleaner and refined playable and interactable session or time to play when we're in it. Oh shoot, that looked weird. You see that? And that's another thing they mentioned about the hangars. It is utilizing some sort of the tech with dynamic server meshing, because they're all the servers are sharing resources to allow us to work through that. So we might see another instance of the hangar being closed somewhere else. Oh, let me do this. Oh, flight model, guys. Flight model for sure. They're going to introduce some things, I'm sure. Flight model is on deck. I think more aspects of the control surfaces, right? More aspects of the control surfaces. We're going to see flight model happen. I don't know about Maelstrom, because I think Benoit mentioned some things about Maelstrom. I don't think they're there yet with it. I could be wrong.